Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 134, released April 1970. Our price, 35 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, please let me remind you, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. That's the #1 way to support this YouTube channel, to get it continuing to grow. Well over 1,000 subscribers. Can't do it without your guys' help. So if you check out this video, please give me a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, comment. If you want to support me in another way, if anything about this is worth more than just a like, subscribe, and a comment, patreon.com/flippinthrough. Link is down in the description. What do you get? You get a 6 set of stickers. You get a stencil to go vandalize stuff with? Come on, how great is that? Nobody else has given you Alfred E. Neuman stencils, except Mad Magazine that one time, and I'm copying their idea. These are the people that I get to thank for their support today. Jacqueline Gosling, Reflection of Perfection, Misimo, Tom Richmond, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead-Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostro. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope I can keep on earning it. Here we are. Boom. Right into it. Boom. Mad Magazine number 134, a classic Norman Mingo cover. What's not to love? It's like, it's everything. It's got Alfred E. Neuman. It's a beautiful painting. It fills the page. Well, the usable part of the page. I mean, okay, it doesn't fill it. It's got like the classic white background image. Here's some like little bottom grass and everything, and then a wonderful visual gag. He's holding up the tree branch. It's like, if you create wind on a sailboat, can you propel yourself? If you hold up a tree branch, can you swing from yourself? I don't know. Nobody knows. This is actually, physicians have studied this. Physics. People who study physics aren't physicians. They're physical educators. And here we have, look at that. You don't even get a house ad on the front. You don't even get a fake ad on the front cover of this. You get some Don Martin, ditched in the South Pacific. Yes, indeed. And it's beautiful. Moving on, we have the vital features and the, what is this called? Table of contents? Long time, viewers, I forgot about this. I used to go through the vital features. This is one of my favorite things to do. And I would try to use my powerful mad knowledge and guess who the artist was for each one of these. And that was so much fun to do. But then I started preparing and like reading ahead a little bit. And so I had to stop doing that, because then what's the fun? Here we have some Mad letters pages. Really cool thing here. Somebody recreated the Mad letterbox right there. We have some lady, I don't know, Bridget Hollywood or something, whatever her name is. Not a ton of stuff. And then here we have this. I got my hopes up. I thought it was going to be one of the suicide ads. No such luck. Longtime viewers will also know that I love those suicide ads. Moving on to Midnight Wonder. Artist Mort Drucker. Writer Stan Hart. Flat Stanley, we called him. This is really cool. First off, Midnight Cowboy. One of the, I would say, top 10 movies about male prostitution for sure. I think that's pretty safe to say. There's some cool stuff being done in this. I don't know how he did it. So, you know, it's you have like the pen and ink drawings like this big somewhat splash page right there. And then you have this where it looks like it's like on like maybe charcoal or crayon No, it's not crayon. But it's like something not ink. So you have ink and then you have them like looking in this mirror, seeing a reflection, and it's like this kind of charcoal thing for the flashback. Um, it looks really cool. It's a pretty cool effect to like show the sort of, I don't know, opaqueness or something or whatever that is. There's some other cool, I mean, this is Mort Drucker, guys, performing at a very high level, which you can say he always does, but he's gone through phases, right? Like in the beginning, he didn't draw like this. He develops this style. Around this time, he might be at his peak. And then as all of us continue in life and age, our ability to do things, it changes, all right? And this might be his peak. There's another really cool one right here with like the overlapping faces, Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight. It was Dustin Hoffman, right? Old Dusty. That's it's so cool. It's like it's pretty freaky the way he was able to draw them both. I don't know, pretty good artistry. And then look at here's some pretty. Think of pickles. Think of lemons. Think of pickled lemons. What? I don't know. Maybe if I saw the movie, that would make more sense to me. Maybe awesome. What is that called? Movie satire. Here we have the fitting. Real straightforward. This is great. Could it have been done in 2 panels? Maybe. Likely, yes. Here we have Mad's frozen foods that fake out fresh. Ah, damn it. All right, hopefully you can't hear my air conditioning running because I'm not getting up to turn it off. The photography by Irving Schild, writer Cyrite. I don't know how to pronounce that name, so anybody who has some pointers, let me know. When frozen foods were first introduced, the innovation was greeted by housewives with wild cries of joy, but all of that has changed. Today, frozen foods are looked upon as a housewife's cop-out. Today, if a housewife serves her family frozen TV dinner or other frozen dishes, it means she's lazy and she lacks imagination. In short, when the family sees frozen foods on the table, it knows that dear old mom has spent the afternoon watching the boob tube or playing mahjong or picketing the local school board. However, thanks to Mad's inventive genius, we can now offer Mom a solution. She can now enjoy the convenience of frozen foods and still maintain the status of a woman who does her own cooking. All she has to do is start using Mad's frozen foods for fresh out fake-outs. Fake out fresh. That fake out fresh. Mad's frozen foods that fake out fresh. All right, here's Mad's frozen burnt vegetables with a can of char smell. Content: 1 pound of burned carrots and peas plus 1 packet of carrot scrapings and empty pea pods plus 1 miniature spray can of char smell. It's char. That's whenever I burn the food, I tell my kids, I go, it's char, okay? It's good. It adds flavor. It's char. Like I'm some type of Brazilian or Argentinian steak chef. Here's Mad's frozen leftover meal. The one that's hard about this is that you would have to have a not leftover version of this too. They'd have to sell 2 versions. Here's Mad's frozen non-rising home-baked cake. I love the quotation marks. Contents: 1 3-layer chocolate cake, guaranteed to remain flat and soggy, and 1 plastic container of special runny sauce. Instructions: thaw cake at room temperature. Pour special runny sauce over top, and while serving, apologize for failure of cake to rise. Also apologize for consistency of icing. Spend balance of meal brooding unhappily over what went wrong, and at the same time impressing family with all the hard work that goes into baking a cake to begin with. Wind up blaming husband for everything, pointing out that he's too cheap to replace crummy old kitchen stove. How delightful. All right, I really want to look at this because this has 2 things that I really like. This has art by Bob Clark, and it has writing by Max Brandel. If you don't know, Max Brandel he's sort of like one of these quiet members of the usual gang of idiots. I don't know that he's had that many appearances in Mad Magazine. You know what? I'm going to find out right now. I'm going to check Mad cover site. Okay, he's had a lot. He's had maybe 100 appearances between 1966 and 1975. He does a lot of stuff with words and letters and photographs and sort of conceptual ideas. Ones like this that are, I don't know, I'm going to say it. He's one of the more highbrow writers at Mad Magazine, and he comes up with some pretty awesome things. So this is There's No Stool Like an Old Stool department. And this cartoon is called Progress. And so look, you have this little chap, a character I've not really seen by Bob Clark. There are certain features that I view as Clarkian when it comes to illustration. One, like the vertical shading, that's Clarkian. Like really flowing, smooth lines, Clarkian. Noses, like very distinct noses, usually pointed or like kind of, they'll like come out and then like go down. I wonder, do I have a Clarkian nose? I have like a very beautiful nose, I must say. Anyway, so he's looking at the stool and he's like, well, this would be better with, I don't know, braces between the legs. All right, so this guy has his. This is actually really deep because like you're building on the progress of the people who came before you. So he already has his stool and he's like, I'm gonna add a fourth leg. This guy's like, I'm gonna add the back to it. And I just love their postures as they're thinking and they're like examining and improving on their chairs. So look at this guy. Oh, look at it. I'm going to make it blockier. I'm going to make it, I don't know, maybe easier to make. And this dude's like, I'm going to make a cushion. Well, no, I have the cushioned one, and I'm going to make it, I don't know, sexier. And this guy's like, I have this sexy chair, and I'm going to make it eggy. This guy's eggy, and he's like, I'm going to make it some other thing. And then this guy's like, nobody's sick? Stool. I don't know. It's like somewhat absurd, I think, this idea of the comic, but I love it. It's like exactly the type of thing one would expect from Max Brandel. It has the beautiful artwork by Bob Clark. I don't know. What's not to love about it? It's not laugh out loud funny, I guess. I just had Kyle Bridget in my ear and saying, yeah, but it's not that funny. And, it's cool though. Here we have spray can sprays we'd like to see. This is like the funnest part about looking through this magazine is that you get to somebody like me who wasn't around in 1970. I get the pop culture stuff of 1970. I watched Nick at Night, okay? But this type of thing, like spray cans and frozen dinner, I didn't know what like that type of, the zeitgeist was. So it's basically like the crux is, well, you have spray cans that like smell nice. Well, what different types of flavors could you get for the different type of people existing in the 1970s? And this is, again, probably, my guess is Irving Schild doing the photography on this because they actually made the cans. For the person who drives an old beat-up nothing car, new car kick. For the woman who wants to impress her snobby friends, well, you have Posh Spot. Spray Posh Spot on couches, chairs, carpets, drapes. Posh Spot dries to form clearly visible stains that smell exactly like vintage champagne or imported caviar. Posh Spot also comes in scotch and hors d'oeuvres, burgundy and cheese fondue, and pot. That's funny. That's really funny. The man who suffers from insecurity, mama. Mama contains the delicious aromas of chicken soup, pot roast, and detergent with ammonia. Now, the detergent with ammonia, just spray it around your lonely apartment and you will be convinced that Mama is back in the kitchen again, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of her little feller. It's so funny. I mean, like, this is sort of like the psychological definition of insecurity, like insecure attachment that happens with babies. Really, really brutal stuff, actually. And here, the last one I want to look at is drop in. For the dropout who never got to go to college. Now you can pass as a college student, and if you are a college student, only your chicken. Wait, and if you are a college chicken, wait. Now you can pass as a college student, and if you are a college student, only you are a chicken. Now you can pass as an activist. I got it. Drop-in contains the subtle aroma of mace, and for status, there's nothing like a trace of mace. There we have the lighter side of money. Wasn't that a fun read? Spy versus Spy. There's two Spy versus Spy in here, as is tradition. But what's cool about this, I don't know if it's like especially notable, but something that I like about it is that look at the wood grain. I like that. It's kind of weird that specifically wood grain, he likes to draw that detail in all the time. And right down there, you can see the marginal. And it took me a second to figure this out. The woman hits the fire hydrant. The fire hydrant is knocking. It's a painted billboard, and it's getting washed off. That's what that little chap is so upset about. Yeah. And guess what we have now? I remember the wondrous Woodstock music air. This is a pretty famous windmill builder by old Sergio Aragones. This is actually one that Kyle Bridget and I talked about in Potter's EB. What was it called? I remember. It was the Potter's EB Super Special #1. The bare necessities department. We talked about this. We went through it with in detail, looking at all the nudity on this one, and there is quite a bit, as you could imagine, in Woodstock. There would be a lot of nudity. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on this bad mamma jamma, and this is one that you can just get lost in. There's so much to see. There's so much to take in. I am so curious how long this took. Oh, here, look at who is this freak? Who is this freak? I forget. Is it like O. Henry or something? Or is it some other character? I wonder if there's somebody who's like gone through and found all of the Easter eggs in this windmill builder. I mean, I can't do it justice. I can't like actually go through and point out all of the cool stuff. You guys know Sergio Aragones. You know how awesome he is. Just go get this issue. Go to your newsstand and get issue number 134. Is that so hard? Is that too much to ask? Anyway, there's also a poem attached to it, which, who wrote the poem? Frank Jacobs, yeah. And I bet it's great, but nobody's reading that poem. Sorry, Frank. Sorry to break the news to you. You got outshined by Sergio Aragones. And, I mean, that's the guy to get outshined by, right? You're going to get outshined by anybody. You don't want it to be like Dave Berg or something. Look at this. Look at this beautiful stuff. Oof. Again, you notice that all the wood grain is drawn in. There's nothing else that he gives that much attention to. It's only wood grain. That's it. I mean, he will draw every single brick, but to me, like drawing every single brick in a wall, It's not the same. It's not the same as drawing the grain of the wood all over the place. Here we have, well, hints for special occasion gifts. We'll look at one of these. Dear Grandma, forgive my not writing for the past year or two. I intended to drop you a line when Grandpa passed away, but the months just seem to fly by with no time for much of anything when a person's away at school. In fact, I find it hard to believe that my 21st birthday is almost upon me. I guess turning 21 has always been considered a big milestone in our family. Dad still carries the gold watch that you and Grandpa gave him when he celebrated that important birthday. This generation, I guess the same thought would be expressed by giving an Accutron wristwatch, priced at only $125 and up, to a close relative who's about to be 21. Hoping to hear from you, your loving grandson and close relative, Stanley. I didn't even read that one on purpose. Accutron is a type of watch made by Bulova, and it was like this quartz movement watch, and it's what they would do is, like, you know how a quartz movement will snap like that. Well, the seconds hand will snap like that. And Accutron didn't do that. It had like the sweeping motion that you get with a mechanical watch, but it was actually smoother than any other mechanical watch because it like resonated the quartz crystal or something like that at such a high frequency, at such a high hertz, that it was able to move the seconds hands very, very quickly. And the other cool thing is, if you hold it up to your ear when it's running, it gives this beautiful humming noise, like this, but it's very faint. You have to hold it up to your ear. Anyway, they're really cool watches. They made all kinds. They made like this this sort of space age one where it was you could see the electronics on the inside. They made like this I have a railroad one, a railroad watch, railroad approved. They were super cool. Nobody cares about that. Hey, if you came this far, make sure that you comment Bulova Accutron in the comment section. You know you're really on your own when you finally have a groovy pad all to yourself. There's nobody to wait up and let you in when you forgot your key. Oh gosh, look at all those creeps. You know you're really on your own when you have to spend the night sitting in the bus station because there's a mouse in your room. I think there aren't all women, never mind. You know you're really on your own when you skip past record players in the trading stamp catalog to see how many books you need for a carpet sweeper. I don't know what that means. You know you're really on your own when you awaken in the middle of the night with a mysterious pain and you realize that you're 985 miles away from your family doctor. Frick. You know, I don't even go to the doctor. You know you're really on your own when you pile your dirty laundry on your bed in the morning and it's still there when you come back that night. Oh, geez, Mom. That guy needs Mama. That spray. Ads we can look for after the next successful space mission. I was thinking about this and how different ads are back then versus now. Like, there'd be events that people wanted to attach themselves to. Events. And now it seems like it's just movements, right? Like political movements or whatever. I was thinking about the one where there's like the Pepsi one with the protests, and then like a Kardashian gives a riot cop, like a can of Pepsi, and then everybody's happy. Like, companies want to attach themselves to movements rather than events like this, like a moon landing, or I don't know, a war in Ukraine. All right. One night at the fights. This one, again, so much fun, but it could have been done in like 2 panels. Really, really a bummer. Golly, I shouldn't have said all that bullshit about watches, because now I'm at MAD's updated modern day Mother Goose. Artist Jack Davis, writer Frank Jacobs. And this one is so great. Please, if you can, if my quality is good enough, hit pause and read these. Look at these images. Hefner had a magazine, which first shocked many folks with color spreads of half-nude girls and sort of dirty jokes. But now we're bombed with raunchy filth and pornographic swill, which makes poor Hefner's magazine seem more like Jack and Jill. And look at, you have the beautiful illustrations too. Spiro Agnew, we got to read that one. Classic. Spiro Agnew spoke off the cuff. Spiro Agnew spoke very tough. All his friends in North and the South couldn't remove Spiro's foot from his mouth. So with that, and guys, it goes on and on. And then there is a fold-in, which I have not folded. And either did this person, because they are a man of culture. You guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Toodaloo.